What's up, guys? Igor Hernandez here, and let's talk trial. Today I want to talk to you guys about the idea that you should never try to outsmart the jury. You should never try to lawyer the jury. It's kind of how we say it. Don't, like, when somebody's talking to you and they're doing, like, trying to make these arguments and trying to, like, spin things in a way that's just too clever, and what you tell them is like, hey bro, don't fucking lawyer me, man. You know what I mean? So not like that, but don't lawyer the jury. Don't try to outsmart the jury. A lot of lawyers think that the jury is just a whole bunch of dumb people who were not smart enough to get out of jury selection. And I think that's completely fucking wrong. I think the jury is a body of people who want to do the right thing and who are not really all that concerned about getting out of jury selection. They're more concerned about what's going on in this case, how can I make it right, and am I going to have that opportunity. But putting that aside for a moment, regardless of how you feel about the jury, let me tell you how trying to lure the jury or trying to outsmart the jury can hurt. I'll give you an example. I tried a case with my firm in December, and it was a pretty gruesome case. It was a homicide on the criminal side, so we were defending. And one of the things that happened, it was a fight where the person who died, the deceased, ended up being injured. And I mean injured in the, obviously other than the fact that he was stabbed, that's a serious injury, but other than that, he was injured in the most technical sense. Like, when you looked at his skin, he had some abrasions, he had some, hematomas. Basically, he had some bruises and he had some scrapes. And so the way, if you've never tried one of these, the way that the medical examiner will document that is he or she will put, abrasion on the left arm, number 1, and he will measure. He would say 7 centimeters or 3 centimeters or whatever. He'll measure how wide it is, but he'll also measure how deep it is, especially if it's a cut or something like that. So medically, there was like 25 injuries that the deceased had suffered, and that sounds terrible. So the prosecution made it a point of just going through the injuries in a medical sense. Can you tell me about how he was injured? Oh, he had 17 abrasions and 20 hematomas, or whatever the case was, and it sounded pretty terrible. And then they left it at that. So cross-examination, I was able to go up there and cross-examine the medical examiner, who was definitely a straight shooter, about, okay, injury number 1, what is that? Oh, that's a scrape. All right, how deep is it? Oh, it's 0.1 centimeters. Well, how deep is that? Well, that's like, if somebody scratches you with their nail, you may get something that's that deep. Okay, injury number 2, what's that? Well, that's it's a bruise. Well, how serious is that? Oh no, that's a superficial injury. And so I was able to break down a cross-examination the 25 injuries, or however many injuries there were, and show the jury that they were not really injuries, and if they were injuries, they were nowhere near as bad as the prosecution was trying to mislead them to believe. That was one of the prime examples of how you should not try to lawyer the jury or try to outsmart the jury, because number 1, if the other side is any good, they're going to make you pay for it, and at that point the jury sees it like you're trying to trick them, which is true. You're trying to trick them. If you engage in that kind of behavior, you're trying to trick them into believing something that's not true, right? So they're going to see it for what it is, and they're going to hurt you, and they're going to hurt your client, because they're going to realize that you're a lying piece of shit that should not be believed. So don't out-lawyer the jury. Don't try to outsmart the jury. Don't do this tricky stuff where you think you're clever, you think you're going to get away with it, and then you don't, and then you lose. And if you do that kind of stuff, and you don't get away with it, and you lose and the jury punishes you, at least, have the decency to tell your client that you messed up, that, you're primarily the reason why your client's case did not reach or did not get a positive outcome, and at least own up to it. At that point, don't blame the jury when you get tagged for trying to lure them or for trying to be too clever with them. Blame yourself. But anyway, guys, that's it for now. Keep that in mind. Don't outsmart the jury. Just tell it how it is. Be persuasive. Use your skills to tell the best version of what happened, but always keep it real with the jury. Catch you again next Wednesday. If you like the video, subscribe, hit that bell button down there somewhere next to the subscribe button, and you can catch me every Wednesday. I'm going to put up some new content for you guys at some point before then as well. I'm not really sure what it's going to be just yet. Some trial related, something interesting, and that's about it. Catch you later, guys.